Hey everybody, and welcome to 2025 and another RCT2 review. Hope everybody had a really nice holiday, Christmas and New Year's and whatever else you celebrate, and I hope that everybody's looking forward to a good 2025. So I thought we'd kick off our 2025 reviews here by going back to an event that happened on New Element in the month of December. So one of the members over there, version 1, came up with the idea of the New Element Advent Calendar. So there's 24 submissions, actually 25, because there was a little bonus one at the end. And none of them are ranked by quality or skill, or there's no real prompt about what to build. So some of them are holiday themed, some of them aren't. It's a real variety mixed bag of stuff, and I think that's what's really cool. It was a completely voluntary thing, just for members to submit. A couple of members submitted more than one, which is cool. So there's a lot of really fun stuff to look at here as we go through all of these parks. So we're going to look at them all and go through all of them today. So buckle up, because this may be a longer one than normal. Also, I apologize if I sound a little gravelly here. I've been dealing with a little bit of Christmas sickness, perhaps, but we'll get over that in time. So, door number 1, this is Lilith with the Palace of Minos, and they've done a very nice job here. This is RCT1, so this is some nice loopy landscapes here with some of the challenges of all the raised scenery and things that you can't do if you remember the RCT1 without some additional help here with some codecs and some other things. But really kind of lovely. Got the nice labyrinth with the Minotaurs supposedly in there, I would assume. But kind of little entrance here from the water coming in, and a lot to enjoy about this one. Kind of nice, pleasant, very quiet, and kind of peaceful. If you sit on this one long enough, it'll start to rain, and I think that's just kind of pleasant, just listening to the RCT rain and everything. But very nice use of things like the observation tower here for the column, and some of the other little bits and pieces like the playing cards for some of these different detailed elements here. Actually, there comes the rain here a little bit, but we are going to move along here quickly, and I'm actually going to go through these fairly quickly since we got 25 of them. But door number 2 is from Sammy. This is the Big Little. So first we're going to look at the little, then we're going to look at the big. So this is kind of a fun little one. We've got this great island, or maybe it's not really an island. Maybe this is all just kind of built out of the water. It's not super clear. I guess it is kind of that way if you get rid of all the scenery here. But we've got this great little coaster here, corkscrew coaster, with a lift hill over the kind of half loop there, using all the new pieces, which is great. If you haven't seen those, you should definitely check out the latest version of OpenRCT, because we've got the banked corners and the large inversions and everything on the corkscrew coaster. Love the no custom scenery with it, though. All the little pirate and castle theming and everything kind of intertwined in there, as well as this cute little log flume going through the whole thing. And then this little boat ride here called Elevator 1 for some reason. But really kind of neat to see this whole thing. So that's the little. Now the big. Let's zoom out and take a look at this whole map. Holy cow. This is gigantic. I'm imagining this was done with a bit of a bitmap upload where you can upload terrain into it, but there is a lot to see here. And what's cool is you can actually zoom in and get some pretty interesting stuff. Like we got these nice flower fields here. We've got some just larger like farming areas here. There's a nice bridge. There's some roads that go all throughout here. There's our little park. Here is a whole another park, just all kind of built into this whole thing. We're not going to spend time looking at it now, but if you want to download all of these and take a look at everything, you can download that in the description of this video. There are, like I said, 25 different ones, but check out all this. There's just a lot to see, and I love a good landscape in the game, and there's just a lot to enjoy and see with all of this. So pretty cool, and kind of a neat way to move along to the next one. So door number 3 is Monster Bucks. This is a Merry Christmas story, and I love this giant Christmas mech here, rolling into our Christmas village here, which says it's opening soon. We got this little railway right here. We've got this pretty huge mech, and I love the use of the pipes from some of the expansion pack scenery, and the side friction coaster here for the tracks on this thing. We've got this gigantic crane here that's about to drop this train onto the tracks. It's pretty darn cool, and kind of a really interesting take on the whole Christmas thing. So it's kind of a fun one, and a lot of cool little details there. So you can see all the different architecture type things along with all of the other scenery bits and pieces here. But this is a fun one. And a really nice snow vibe too. I've always liked the snow vibe in the game, just some of the custom scenery that adds little bits of ice and snow and water and things like that. Just, I don't know, it feels very calming, very kind of relaxing, I suppose. So door number 4, we're going to go to the real spirit of the holidays, shopping. And we are here in the Galleria Part 2 from the Brew. And if you have followed the Dirklink's channel and some of his contests, you might see this fairly familiar. The Brew actually put together Brew Galleria, I guess Part 1, a little while ago for one of the contest entries that has a really nice big coaster in the middle of it and everything. I don't think I reviewed it on the channel yet, but I should add it to the list because there's a lot of cool stuff in it. But this is just a great little kind of snippet, kind of in the same style of that. The really cool like Santa pop-up display here. You got all the other stores here, the Spencer's, the Bath and Body Works, Christmas Tree Hill, all the things you would expect. And then here in the middle, you've got this cool little pop-up thing where you've got the reindeer kind of stuff here. We've got the Santa's Lap, still in Santa's Lap attraction here, which we have all the queue for. That's kind of fun, and I love the colored tombstones here as the like Christmas balls or decorations, ornaments, and all that on top of the trees. That's a fun one, I think. So good little touch there, and a fun detail to it. All right, door number 5 is from Steve. This is called Wicked Blizzard, and here is our main coaster here, which is Wicked Blizzard. So we only get a part of the coaster. The rest is cut off, so you got to just pretend like you know what's going on for the rest of it. Kind of a cool layout here with this Norwegian loop sort of thing going on in the middle here, using some of the new pieces, of course, which is hard to resist. And off to the races on the other side. We've got some pretty cool older style, like RCT1 type theming here, with the pathways being used as kind of arches and entry pieces here, and some of these all the land raised buildings and everything. So I like the dichotomy of that with the new ride pieces and everything. There's just a lot of cool stuff to see. Make this invisible, and you can see some of the paths or the guests. So here on this queue, it's filled up the whole way. There's a lot of guests here taking pictures, and kind of a fun detail, all the little fun kind of clickable things you'd expect from something from Steve. I like the coaster too. The blue color is quite nice, and the supports are always good too. Steve always does a good B&M, so always something to look forward to with that. All right, number 6 is from G-Ride. This is Opart Residence, and this one is I don't know, a little avant-garde for me, I suppose, because I'm not quite sure I get it. There's the one ride here, which is the elevator wait. Judging by the name, I'm expecting this is some sort of like artistic type residence. Kind of reminds me of like apartment buildings, perhaps, and like a chair and a couple somethings here. But if you turn the page, it all shifts around and moves a little bit, and get different stuff in each one of the different 4 directions. So that's kind of a fun little detail there, and that's all that there is here. So you can kind of see all the different routes of it. But you know, certainly art is for the viewer and the interpreter as to what they want it to be. So I'm not entirely sure what I want this to be, but it is pretty cool, and kind of a neat little technical thing too with the 4 angles, which I always appreciate. Door number 7 is from Lurker. This is actually the first entry from Lurker. There are going to be more. So this is called Christmas Dreams, and this is a cute one. Just a little launch coaster here, a little booster section there in the middle, and kind of this spacey floating ornament sort of thing, using all the original game the snow ornaments and the candy pieces and some of the space stuff too in the glass. Kind of an interesting mix of stuff. Actually works really well together. Excuse me. It's a fun little layout here with those bits of launch pieces, and we got our inversions here, and where you can hear the guests doing their thing. And I actually really like the use of the glass tile for the walkways. I don't know, it feels very kind of ethereal as you're floating in this kind of emptiness. So that's a fun little entry here. All right, door number 8. We have Jaguar with the new Millennium Club, and Jaguar is definitely one of those who does some kind of really kind of out there things from kind of the typical build that you would expect, and I appreciate that. It's not always my style, but I kind of love the idea of just something entirely their own, and they definitely have that covered here. So we've got, first of all, kind of a cool palette, this sort of like, I don't know, icy blues and greens and grays and things like that, but love the stuck in place towers here at different heights. And we have our coaster here, which is the new Millennium Force. Nice use, by the way, of the old JA227 Giga looping trains. I haven't seen those in ages, but those used to be like the goat of trains in the game if you wanted to do custom things with inversions and other stuff, so that was always the way to be. So that's kind of a fun one to see. Some interesting rides. I don't think I've ever seen this Cyber Chase ride. This is a cool sign here, the astronomy, I guess, coming in with the dance floor going on down here. There's a little train track here with the RMC stuff. There's a jet ski going on. These, I don't know if they're escalators or just stair walkways and everything, using the Ultra Twister track as a kind of gauge around the thing. It looks really good, in my opinion. And yeah, there's just a lot of different stuff to see. The Mystery Inc. hover bus transport, which I think is an odd one there, but definitely a fun addition. And just a lot of different stuff to do. This dude's having a hard time. Looks like he's drawn on there, but hopefully somebody will get to him. But lots of cool stuff, lots of kind of weird object usage and everything, but somehow it all works together in a way that kind of makes sense. It actually looks pretty darn good. So that's a fun one there as we move on to door number 9. Excuse me. So door number 9 is from Jappy. This is the Lonely Signalman, which, knowing Jappy's propensity for trains is not surprising. Here we have the Snowdrift at Bleeth Gill. Pleasant thing. I don't know if this is meant to be a snow plow on that, or I'm not entirely sure what that train meant to be. I'm sure if Jappy sees this, he will tell me. But this is just a very, very nice amount of storytelling here, I think, just with this kind of very cold and desolate landscape with the rocks. Kind of feels very Scottish or Irish or somewhere in northern UK, perhaps, with the snow and the hills and everything, and just this nice little warm cottage, and then our little signalman over here, and just kind of a lot of quiet desolation, which I think is kind of quite nice. Maybe not for the signalman, who, judging by the title, is a little lonely, but also nice details here with the lines coming out from the box to the points for the switch, and then also for the signal itself. Kind of a fun detail, which I would not expect Jappy to miss. Door number 10 is an interesting one. This is Lego Hogwarts Castle by Where's Waldo. And no, you're not seeing something. This is actually RCT done as Lego pieces. So back in head-to-head, we reviewed the Super Nintendo World Park that had a lot of the cel-shaded type scenery. And Waldo has jumped on that as well, and really made some pretty interesting stuff here. So if we actually pull open this, we can see that we have different individual Lego pieces, and you can literally build this thing like you would a Lego set and be able to like properly follow the directions and everything. So absolutely fascinating, for one. Super cool. Just design in general. It actually really looks like Lego instructions, which I think is kind of impressive. Cool cutaway bits in the back too. Lots of pretty cool stuff. I assume this is a set, an actual set. I don't actually know that, but pretty darn impressive. And this one is just a really kind of fun out there one. It's one of those, like, you know, would you believe this is RCT kind of things. It's very cool. Door number 11 is by Alex. This is the Dragon at Ocean Park. So we're gonna go away from Christmas for a little bit and go to an old Arrow coaster. I've got some nostalgia for this one because I did get to ride this. This is a recreation of a real one at Ocean Park in Hong Kong. Unfortunately, it's now standing but not operating. The ride is closed for good, I believe, and is unfortunately not going to reopen. So this is what we have now, is just a memory of it, but really nice version of the ride. For one, it's kind of a weird layout with the two lifts, the beginning and the end lift, but that's accurate to the real thing. Again, those new pieces really help, you know, those bank diving corners, the diagonal bits and everything, and the larger inversions just really help make some of these rides just look a lot nicer now. Cool terrain as well. I always like the station for this thing with the kind of curved rounded glass, and some of these curved brick pieces and just the walkways throughout are actually really nicely done. And of course landscaping, which is always one of the things that I think Alex does incredibly well, and just kind of the overall vibe is incredibly pleasant. So nice coaster for one. This is one of our first full coasters here, but there's plenty more of that on the way. Door number 12 is version 1, his own entry to his event. This is Santa's Workshop 2135. So we've got our, let me pause it here. We've got our little Santa's home here, and nice little beach scene going on, and behind that is Santa's Workshop here, which seems like it is maybe seeing a little bit of rough times, perhaps. We've got our trucks pulling out, Van 1 and Van 2, and then up here we have Santa's test flight. I didn't even think to look, I don't know if there's anything inside. By the way, there's not, except for those two posters from the one of the Disney rides, I think, from one of the head-to-heads a while back. But kind of an interesting one here with a couple of different landscapes and everything, but makes you wonder what 2135 will look like. Hopefully not this bleak. Alright, so door 13, we go back to Lurker for the Advent Railway, which this one is super cute as well. Definitely has that style that Lurker is definitely known for, with that kind of pleasant RCT1 look to it. And this is actually RCT1 as well. Nice little train control panel here with the your kind of toy train controls and everything. I love the buttons, the dials, and lights and everything like that. And of course, we just have our nice little loop of railway here with this kind of pleasant little box of theming. Nice little castle here on top. Bit of a village here for the guests to walk through. Super pleasant, just really kind of nicely done with the castle pieces, and then some of the other bits and bobs in there, and then also just the snow theming to add a little bit of fun into that. But super cute, super pleasant, and go around. I also love the signage here, the New Element Advent 2024. So you will always remember where this one is from. Door number 14 is Amusement Parker, Irving Berlin's White Christmas. Amusement Parker kind of burst onto the scene in head-to-head with some really beautiful stuff. This one is just ultra atmospheric. I love this. Love the music. Just love the vibe to the whole thing. It's just kind of very like calm and peaceful, very warm despite kind of the chilly atmosphere of the buildings and everything. So we have the Columbia Inn here, and we have our little farmhouse on the side, a horse-drawn carriage here, the sleigh ride coming to bring guests into the space. But what's fun about this one, you can spin around and you can see that the doors are open to the barn, and right here, then we can actually come down here and more than I thought, but there's a whole scene inside. So really kind of cool. We've got this great kind of dinner music show going on here with some dancers and all sorts of a band and everything else, and then this super cozy vibe here in the lodge here with the Christmas tree and with a couple of couches and some luggage and these nice fireplace, the bookshelves and everything. Just feels very pleasant, the overall look and feel. And two, as we go up, I mean, look at the details here, all the rafters and everything, very well done, very nicely detailed too. So that was quite nice, and a great little map. Door number 15 is Scoop with Warden. So Scoop is going to bring some non-Christmas stuff going on here, but a great coaster layout. So we can pick this one up kind of halfway through, but actually we'll wait for the next one coming around. But got this kind of feels almost Norse type vibe to it with some of these stone staircases, nice curved walkways here, and some nice kind of heavy gray rock work, very kind of dark in general with the landscaping and everything. Here's our coaster coming out of the station. Transitions across to our triple launch section. That nice little rollback there with the top hat. Cool little dip into the rocks. Love the spike. And a nice climb up and into the coaster layout here with some great elements. Again, using all the new pieces. Little flowy layout too, interacts with itself in a couple spots. Different bits and bobs there all throughout the whole thing, and finally return to the station. Nice queue here through the kind of really nice thick foliage there. I like these glowing bits of pathway details as well, so very nice for the whole thing. Alright, door number 16. So this is Otter Salad with Dragonfire for Christmas. So this actually was just released here a little bit before this whole event as just Dragonfire using the new pieces. So this was one of probably the first designs made with the new corkscrew pieces, and as a recreation of Dragonfire at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg. And now there's Christmas overlay. So I was actually meaning to review this park as a separate review, and I may still do that, but we're going to look at it now. We've got our nice coaster train here coming up the lift with, of course, all the new pieces, nice new inversions that are larger, nice bank corners, nice transition elements, just such a nice, refreshing space to be in. And man, 2024 was a heck of a year for RCT. But despite as old as the game is, we've really had a lot of innovation coming, and a lot of really great work from some of the members. So it's an exciting time to be a part of the community, and there's a lot of really cool stuff that I think is going to be on the way, and a lot of cool stuff that we saw this year. Mid-course here, this one is the version of Dragonfire before they removed this first inversion. There's that cutback element into the final corkscrew. And we're just missing the helix. It looks like that's the last little bit on the real one that was kind of underneath of the Cobra roll. Certainly this one is famous as kind of Arrow's, call it, failed coaster, but certainly lives on somewhat in infamy. I love the winter overlay though. Love the snow kind of spilling out onto the pathway. Love the decorations and everything. Excuse me. I don't know, the German buildings always seem to definitely give themselves to Christmas themes very nicely with a lot of the kind of wintry elements and everything. Just feels very natural with that sort of gingerbread look that you might get. Some snow on there and just some lights and everything else. Just feels very cozy. Carousel here as well. Love the landscaping. Snowman here and the Christmas trees all lit up with the lights and everything. Just very nicely done, and really cool details for it. Okay, so door number 17. This is Extreme with the book Nook. This one's super cute. Extreme 97 is amazing at just great atmosphere and architecture and everything. So lots of really great stuff. I mean, first of all, a lot of off-grid things like this half-diagonal building here, this nice curved thing at the side, but it's all different little bookshops and everything. So we have Stevenson's here, we've got Scott's Books, we've got little newsstand here. Here's Burns in the back, so spin around and we can see all the different bits. I love all the stacked books out in front of the buildings here, all the little bookshelves and everything. British flag here in the back. But lots of little things to explore just as you spin around. Here's a nice little cutaway too of a couple of different areas here with some books and passage or something in there. Big trees look really great kind of in the whole thing. Here's Arthur Conan Doyle's, which is always a good little Easter egg. Nice seating area up here on top of this curved building as well, but just super atmospheric. I love how it just fades off into the black, so it's just kind of this little vignette of space kind of existing here off on its own. Again, very warm, very pleasant atmosphere. Really great architecture, really great color use and object use and everything. Just looks great. So well done. Certainly probably the best architecture of this little event. Door number 18. We get Dinky Castle. This is from Nin, which I always love seeing good work from Nin because big fan of his. Really cool castle thing here. So this is sort of a reimagining, I guess, of Dinky Park, I guess, with this coaster around the bottom here called Coat of Arms. Got two nice size loops here. Kind of reminds me of a Hopkins coaster. Love the loop around this kind of big cantilevered scrambler that's out here. Our station for the coaster as well. Wouldn't want to be in this back car hanging off the edge. I love how the slide replaces one of the tower peaks or cones here at the top, so that actually looks really fun. Kind of a neat little way to sit that in there. Actually, had never really thought too hard about removing the base pieces for some of these rides like the Ferris wheel or the swinging ship, but they work really, really well here, and it's kind of only possible because we can do that now. So we've got the ability to do that with the invisible color scheme. Another one of those great new additions from last year. Love the use of the scenery on top of the carousel piece here, so it kind of looks like an extension of the whole thing. And of course we have this great observation tower way up at the top. Little band playing on top here, some foliage and everything, but and you can see the walkway all the way up to the top of the thing. It's kind of a fun way to rethink that little tiny park with a cool vibe to it. I love the greenery growing up the sides here too, and a lot of really kind of different types of brickwork and everything else, kind of an amalgamation of a bunch of different things all working together here, but actually does a pretty nice job, I think, built into that, built into all these spaces. It actually blends better than I kind of would have expected it might, so definitely some good work there. Alright, my voice is still holding up here as we move to door number 19. So this is version 1, another entry here called the Lighthouse. Says, how long have we been on this rock? 5 weeks, 2 days? Where are we? In my opinion, this is probably one of the most unsettling RCT pieces I think I've ever had. You know, we always see horror-type themes in the game, but I don't know, it feels like it's rarely conveyed as well as this with this foghorn. This just sounds very sort of uncomfortable, almost like you're expecting something large and ominous to be coming out of the blackness and everything. But you've got your two guys here that are stranded. You've got the foghorn and everything, and all the lighthouse element and all these kind of rocks around it. But I don't know, it definitely feels like it invites a lot of stories, and just I would love to kind of see this idea just kind of expanded on, because I feel like it's very hard to pull off something truly atmospheric like this, and I don't know, V1's done a very nice job on that. I think it's incredibly cool. Door number 20 is Milo with the Lily Temple. This is super pleasant. Really, really like this for one. So, first of all, this is an RCT1 entry as well, so definitely a lot of original game stuff, which is cool to see. Love the land raising here and the couple of small rides, the Ferris wheel here, the sunken slide. I'm gonna have to actually use that, I feel like, in some of my future scenario builds. I actually really love how this this whole maze and the pathway and the slide and all that work together. So definitely looks great. Love the way that the water kind of flows out to this. Kind of neat to see this, the way that the land kind of cuts off here as it kind of flows out into the water. Very kind of artsy. But these pagodas on top just look really nice, and just the whole landscaping of this is quite nice. Just very pleasant look for the whole thing. So very enjoyable for that one. Actually, that one isn't an SV4, although it might tend to be. This one definitely is, number 21. This is another lurker entry. This is Frost Village. So this is a launched stand-up coaster, so I guess launched Togo, with a Batwing type element here, and not Batwing, Sea Serpent roll, I guess, and called the Wind's Chill. Was very appropriate. This has again a very lurker feel with the glass pieces on top of the buildings and everything. Love the kind of red and green and using those colors for the buildings as well. Definitely has that Christmas vibe and everything. Very cute, very pleasant. Nice little walkways around here too, using the colored pathways too. I almost never use the red and green path elements. It never seems to fit, but maybe it's time that I try to squeeze those in. I don't know. Have to see what the future brings, but super pleasant little little walkway here, and just a nice little map. All right, home stretch here. Door number 22. So door number 22 is Morgan Fan with Gorgeous Gorge, and sure enough, there is a nice sized gorge here with this giant coaster over top of it. Excuse me. And in a world where we are seeing the loss of King Dakar and the questionable operation of Top Thrill, we have Yeet here, an old school hydraulic launch coaster, which I do love. Nice all the way across the gorge, up the giant top hat element, and up and over. A couple things I love about this one is the suspended monorail that's using the same support structure as this, which I think is super cool. Fan of that. Love the engine house down here too, with the you can clearly see where the hydraulic launch components go into. Love a good themed miniature golf course, and this one covers that very nicely from all the way up to the top here. Looks like there's a proper 18 holes too, but Gorgeous Golf, as it's called. Nice setting here, kind of western look to the whole thing. Here's a nice screaming swing that swings out over the top, kind of has that whole Glenwood Caverns vibe to it. Love the goats on the side here. High Rider is the name. So we've got a nice little suspension bridge here, so it's got the same look as the New River Gorge Bridge, so I don't know if that is intended to be the reuse of the site or just a similar bridge, but that's one of the highest bridges in the US if you're not familiar with it. A cool one to check out. I can be in person someday. But lots of cool stuff here. Got our launch here, launch tower, got our scrambler, got our swing, carousel, all those bits and pieces. So a nice little pleasant park. It's kind of impressive, you know. Some people did their little vignettes of things, and some people built kind of a full-on park almost. So it's very impressive, and just cool to see the variety for sure. Alright, so number 23 is from Gustav Goblin. So this is Navigator at Ports of Call. This is very pleasant. It has that sunset look to it with the little bit of glow over top of the water, and you can glow coming down from the lamps and everything. Very useful bits of scenery and things like that. Love this swing. Absolutely gorgeous. Love the pathwork for one on the bottom of it. Love the top element. Just looks really nice. Using the Space K Wave Swinger too, and then you can see the actual ride element here that's moving as well, just so you can, it feels like the whole thing is actually rotating, which is a really cool addition to custom rides that are often, you gotta kind of use your imagination a little bit, but that helps really sell it. when the whole thing like that is spinning. So very clever use. I don't know if that's the first time that's been done, but I feel like it's the first time I've seen it. So A+, good effort. That's a really good good addition and something very cool to see. Got some guys up here on the roof working on our HVAC unit here, but plenty of fun stuff going on inside the restaurants and things like that. So lots of clickable things to check out and take a look at. So definitely download this one and have a look. But very beautiful, very pleasant look. A little homage to the soda jerks there. Door number 24. This is Ethan with cones and the on a older version, perhaps. Odd. So, but anyway, this is called cones. So, kind of a fun little one here. We've got our carousel here in the middle. We've got our train coming around the side of it, all built up. Very kind of chilly atmosphere with this. I think it's a custom palette. Not entirely positive, but it looks like it might be. But very, very chilly rock work and everything. Just kind of feels very frigid almost. But I do like the way that's kind of stacked up so you can kind of see all the different pieces of it. Really great architecture, kind of stepping down to this plaza where the big carousel is, and then kind of off to the side. Love the skating right here as you go around. And then here comes our train. Long train here that just kind of winds its way through the whole thing and then kind of comes up and back to the station here. We can spin this around too and see there's just a little bit of stuff down here too. A cutaway going on. There we go. Now we have one more actually. This is door number 24 bonus. So this is also a Gustav Goblin entry. This is South Pole Reindeer. And this was kind of one of those last minute entries, just toss a coaster layout in there and put some reindeer in here, penguins with antlers it says. So that's kind of a fun detail with the whole South Pole thing. So again, nice use of the coaster type with the interlocking loops. You don't do that terribly often, so have a nice old school thing with that. Definitely put together here fairly quickly, but still very pleasant to see. But with that, that is 25 different little parks of kind of varying size and detail and theme and all sorts of things. But there's a lot of really interesting things to look at, and I feel like there's something for everybody's taste within that, which I kind of like to see. Just a lot of variety throughout the whole thing. If you want to download these, I already said, but you can check out the link in the description that will take you to the New Element page. Download all of these different ones. You can also see a little more of the description that was released with each one that might give a little more clue to some of the theming and storytelling elements of some of these different ones. Definitely, if you're already a member there, leave a comment on the page, because I'm sure all the users will appreciate some information or some at least feedback about their little parks, and let me know on this one which one was your favorite. So definitely comment, tell me which door did you like the best. So moving forward, we're going to have a lot more stuff here on the channel this year. Looking forward to a lot of new content on the way. As always, definitely let me know what you like to see and if there's something interesting that you would like to check out. But until next time, thank you all very much for watching. Have a great day, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye now.